to the fruit, more bass than Bootsy Collins. You versus me, that's like Ali versus Foreman. God's act.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Tyler and welcome back to another gameplay commentary. In today's video, you guys are watching some H1Z1 gameplay, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. But in today's video, I actually have the Q&A that I promised, or that I asked you guys to leave me questions for. It's been a few months since I've done a Q&A on my channel, so I figured it'd be a good time to do another one. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into this Q&A. So the first question we have is from Ben. He asks, what is your favorite way to smoke weed? And for me personally, my two favorite ways, or my favorite ways of smoking weed, are either going to be smoking just straight out of like a joint or like rolling papers. Like I like the flavor. I'm a flavor chaser when it comes to smoking. So like I really enjoy smoking papers and like smoking a lot of joints if I'm smoking weed, and if not, then I'm most likely going to be smoking out of a bong of some sort, because like I was saying, I really enjoy the flavor of weed. I really enjoy the different flavors and different tastes that different strains have. But anyways, bro, thanks for the question. Moving on to the next question, we have Arnar, and he asks, would I rather have Captain Crunch or Lucky Charms? Which one is better? And to be honest, that's a really tough decision. I enjoy cereals so fucking much. Both Captain Crunch and Lucky Charms are some OG ass cereals, but if I really had to pick one or the other, I would probably have to choose Captain Crunch, but it would have to depend on what kind of Lucky Charms they are. I think I had seen some a while back that was literally just a box of the marshmallows. If they are those where it's just the Lucky Charms marshmallows, Lucky Charms all the way. But if it's the OG Lucky Charms we're talking about and the OG Captain Crunch, I'd have to pick Captain Crunch any day. But anyways, moving on to the next question, we have Joey, and he asks, would I rather take 10 dabs in a row with no water or 10 bong rips in a row with no water? And to be honest with you, bro, I'd much rather take bong rips with no water, just because of how hot taking dabs are, especially without water. I've done it one time on accident, like I didn't even mean to, and it was just so bad. So to be honest with you, I'd probably rather just take 10 bong rips with no water. But anyways, thanks for the question, bro. Moving on. Next up, we have DJ. He asks, how do you deal with going to work high? And to be honest with you, I really don't go into work high or like super high. Usually if I smoke before work, it'll be like 2 or 3 hours prior to my shift. I don't like smoking right before I go in, but I mean, I can do it. I just usually don't prefer it because it makes my shifts feel like they take fucking forever. So I usually just smoke like a couple hours beforehand, and then I'm usually sobered up by the time I go in for my shift. But moving on to the next question, we have Nintendo Freak, and he asks, why did you start smoking weed? And to be honest with you, when I originally started smoking weed, it was to help me with two things, mainly my ADHD and to help me with sleeping, because I have really bad sleeping problems at night. I just tend to have a lot of issues falling asleep at night. Like I can lay in bed for hours, literally like 2-3 hours at a time with my eyes closed in the dark for doing literally nothing, and I just won't fall asleep. And so the majority of my idea of smoking weed had a lot to do with just like falling asleep at night. But I had also mentioned how it helps me a lot with my ADHD. So like I said, I used to be really hyper when I was younger. I'm not so much anymore. I'm kind of like relaxed and chilled out, but I used to be like fucking crazy off the walls, and I really did not like the prescription medication I was prescribed for my ADD or my ADHD, because it really just made me feel like not myself. So I ended up finding myself smoking weed so I could help calm down, or like stay calmed down and not be all crazy hyper all day, and also to kind of keep myself a bit more focused and slow my pace down, like slow the amount of thoughts I'm constantly having. Like with ADD and ADHD, I'm like my brain is constantly moving. But anyways, thanks for the question, bro. Moving on, we have Girex, and he asks, how did I get into skateboarding? So when I originally got into skateboarding, I was literally like 2 or 3 years old. I remember just seeing kids and like seeing all these different people always skateboarding around in the city I used to live in. And then later on in my life, when I was like 4 or 5, in the city I lived in at the time, they opened up like a skate park, like an indoor skate park, and it was in one of the more popular malls. It wasn't a Woodward park, it was like a different indoor skate park, and it's not there anymore, unfortunately. And I remember being in there when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and they had this big glass window where you could just sit and like watch people skateboard. And I remember sitting at the window just staring at everybody skateboarding and just being so mind blown and like how cool it actually looked and like how much fun it looked like everybody was having, and I just really wanted to start skateboarding. So like the majority of that year, I basically just begged my parents for a skateboard, and they eventually got me one for Christmas. And ever since then, I basically have just been on and off a skateboard, whether it was like just cruising around riding on skateboards or like actually doing shit. But I've always been around them pretty much my whole life. I've always loved it. Moving on to the final question for the Q&A, we have Crimson, and he asks, would you rather have free weed forever or 1 million subs on YouTube? And to be honest with you guys, I'd most definitely rather have 1 million subs on YouTube, but you know, who knows that I'm gonna enjoy smoking weed as much as I do now, and like free weed might not even be a thing anything that I need to care about. I might be able to grow weed in the future, you know? But the feeling of like accomplishment and satisfaction that you would have from having 1 million subscribers when you're older would still never go away. You would always have that, and that would always be like a really cool thing to see and achieve. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for the Q&A video. Thank you guys, everybody who asked me questions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. And another side note, I'm gonna be live streaming as soon as this video goes up. So if you guys want to come chill in the live chat, I've been talking to like everybody who comes through the chat pretty much. I'm gonna be chilling, playing some H1Z1 and probably some Black Ops 2 or other Call of Duty games. Then that's gonna be first link down below in the description. You guys could stop by. Anyways, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm out. Peace.
I got more keys than Alicia. These niggas be talking police. I took your hoe and released her. I used to trap out a Regal. 200,000 on my wrist. I thought it all was a fantasy.